Now, when it comes to Pusha T, if you are ready to see how Pusha just started what is going to be maybe the biggest rap beef since Kendrick Lamar vs. Drake, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, with that said, right now, with Push and Clips and their new song that dropped, titled So It, well, truly. With the mission that Push is on in this era where he has teamed back up with Pharrell and Malice once again for the new Clips album. Well, it was already so clear from how Clips was coming with this thing, and at that, alongside Kendrick Lamar and everything he is standing for, it was already evident that from Drake to Kanye to Wayne, they were coming for all of the frauds in the rap game who have overstayed their welcome. Well, now, with this new clip track, So It, they just revealed that the beef that they have with the biggest names in rap and what they want to prove is even bigger than we could have imagined. Because in this song, Pusha T just called out and dissed none other than Travis Scott. And when we go into what the lines say and also see Pusha's motivation for doing this, because he already told us straight out. Well, what we can see is that Travis is not just getting called out by a single rapper here because of a small problem, but Push is really doing this on behalf of so much of the rap that is just fed up with the way the guy has been moving. And now, before we go any further into all of this and how bad this is really going to end up being, Travis, if you have already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out, 8nen. And now, with that said, when it comes to this Clips track, do it. T and the Pusha T and Travis Scott beef that is on the horizon is starting. Well, within this new Clips track, which features top-tier rapping from Push and Malice with a beat that is honestly more catchy than what Fell did on the first track they released, Ace Trumpets. Clips is truly in classic form here. And for Push himself, he is once again showing how he is right behind Kendrick Lamar in everything that he is. And truly, in an era in rap where so many MCs, new and old, have not figured out how to move and evolve, Push is just understanding how to become the best MC he can possibly be right now. And how, after having to hold back his words for so long like the rest of the rap game in the Drake era, well now, Push can finally call out who he wants and just settle things to make sure rap never falls back into the trash state that a lot of people felt that it was in during Drake's run. And now, seemingly with this, well, aside from Drake during the worst era in hip-hop, it seems like Push has found the next guy who he thinks was the worst contributor and person to this awful time, aside from the OVO loser, and of course that happens to be none other than Travis Scott. And now, specifically, what Push said to start this entire beef off are "Leans, you cried in front of me, you in front of me. Calabasas took you and your pride in front of me. I heard Utopia had moved right up the street. T and her lip gloss was popping. Need you to eat. T, and now with dishes, man, they cold. D and Travis has never been faced with something like this in his entire career, because here Push is really trying to break down Travis as a man in every way he possibly can by saying that he has no morals or loyalty or anything respectable that T, and then he even throws in some digs that are clearly referencing how he fumbled Jenner, which makes all of this worse. And I am Pusha knew exactly what Hugh is trying to do here and how he was trying to get under his skin and aggravate him. And now, while in most times in this era an MC will just say something like this and make us figure out the rest of why this is really all going down, Pusha already had a GQ interview ready to release with the song, where he made sure to let everyone know why he was dissing Travis Scott in the place. And within this, what Pusha T says is that Travis Scott is not a respectable person, and he uses a word that's a lot less flattering than what I am saying here. And now the reason why this is, and what this is all centering around, all comes back to Travis Scott and his bond with none other person than, you probably guessed it, Drake, and then the song on Utopia where Drake was featured in none other than Meltdown, and now was Push with Pharrell and Travis when Trap was playing Utopia. For him, what we go on to find here is that Travis played Utopia for them but left out Drake's Melton verse, where, of course, he dissed Pharrell and also pushed the T pretty much in Thepris SS, and now what Push had to say about this is specifically, the true context of that is, we were in Paris working, and he was calling to play his album, He came to Fell's studio at Louis Vuitton HQ, where Clips recorded most of Let God Sort Them Out. T. He interrupted the session, I recalled. D. He sees me and Malice there. He's like, oh man, everybody's here. He's smiling, laughing, and jumping around doing his monkey dance, which, just reading this, you could see how much Push despises Travis Scott and just has no respect for him. Period. And then he goes on to say, "We weren't into the music, but he wanted to play it, wanted to film us while listening to it." And then a week later, you hear Meltdown, which he didn't play, and he played the song but not Drake's verse. And now, following this up, Push goes on to say that he sees Travis as someone who aligns with whoever's hot, regardless of past affiliations or loyalty. And he went further into this and why he just despises the guy, saying that he doesn't hold Travis to any standard because, as he sees it, Travis has a pattern of remaining conveniently neutral when it suits him. He's done this a lot. He has no picks. He'll do this with anybody. He did it with Sicko Mode on, which Drake seems to diss Kanye despite Travis's close ties to him. And then it says that Push then referenced last spring when Travis joined Future and Metro on stage and excitedly asked them to tease like that the song Who's Incendiary. Kendrick Lamar verse ignited Kendrick's beef with Drake. He was on the Rolling Loud stage like, play that, play that. He doesn't have any picks or any loyalty to anybody. He'll jump around whatever he feels is hot or cling to whatever he feels is hot, but you can play those games with those people. We're not in your mix. Keep your mix over there. And now, as Push finishes this off, calling Travis a word that begins with a W, which again I can't say here. I think this all puts into perspective how he truly feels about him, and truly, with this, well, no matter how you feel about Pusha T, Travis Scott, and any of these other people in the rap game, there is no other way to say it. Pusha T is 100% right about what he is saying for Travis here, and I think for how Travis's own lack of accountability and ownership in the rap game have ended up affecting both Push and Pharrell, who have made this entire album. And again, literally beyond this, Pharrell did contribute to Utopia, which was the same record he got dissed on. And again, there is no other way to put it. That is lame on Travis's end, however you want to call it. And now, as Push has seen this pattern time and time again as he calls out here, this has been a long time coming, because, as Push even says, with Ye, of course, on Sicko Mode, Drake ended up dissing him there, and then, of course, he also references, like, we see that this tendency that Travis Scott has, aside from how much you may like his music, is one of the reasons why the rap game has gone as soft as it has, and why so many rappers just wallow within mediocrity as a whole, because it just goes back to this whole bigger idea of never taking any accountability for your work or moves, and just causes rap to feel less authentic and purposeful as a whole. And so with this I have to say that for Pusha T Teeth finally just being the one to call this out, as we have all seen it, well, he's truly revealing a lot and showing how Travis Scott is not as liked as he wanted everybody to believe by his peers, and at that, especially the ones who are all just about having words and standing on them. Because I guess in that way, when you really break down how little Travis stands for, he must almost respect Drake a little more. As wild as that sounds, just in the sense of you know where Drake actually stands on some level, I guess. And really, to be honest, what I think is going to be most interesting and telling about all of this going down in this pivotal moment with Travis Scott and Pusha A, is that now, as Travis has been disliked and he has been called out for all of the clown stuff he has been doing by one of the most respected rappers out, how does he respond to this? And how does he address these criticisms? Because his entire character is really being put into question, and he is going to have to handle this on some level, no matter what he wants to run away from. And truly now, of course, as Travis is not a lyrical rapper and he has used writers who were around Push for a lot of his career, like Shy, for example. What you really have to think about with the good music lineage and just their working past in general is the question around if there is a much bigger play at hand here with Olaf this from Push, which could be to expose Travis's flaws as a writer and rapper and maybe truly end his career with something very similar to the story of Adidon and maybe even worse than what he did to Drake. Because truly, if we remember the last time Push did something like this, it was when he dropped Infrared, which was Daytona. Which really was a way that he was able to get Drake to come out and engage in a lyrical back and forth in the place. And of course, we all saw how that ended when he dropped the story Adidon.n. So really, I have to give Push a lot of credit for standing on his words and choices in this era in rap, where everybody has tried to take that away and a lot of people have just tried to avoid any sort of responsibility, like we have seen with Travis Scott. Now, as we wait and go forward to see what all of this truly becomes for Pusha A and Travis Scott in beef, really, all we can do is just wait and see how Travis handles this. And maybe even if Pusha has a greater plan as A will T. No matter how Travis moves forward or responds, maybe Travis's career is already going to change forever for just being a clown for too long, and he has absolutely no idea. And now, with all of said, let me know what do you think of this entire moment, which truly has now been one of the most pivotal things we have seen in rap this year, and is genuinely going to start off one of the most interesting and maybe surprising beefs that we have ever seen, I'd say. And truly, how do you think these two different types of MCs are going to end up competing with one another? And now, genuinely, whether maybe Travis decides to drop Jack Boys to Right Around when this Clips album drops to try and have some sort of an album showdown in a classic fashion, or maybe Travis actually tries to get in the booth and have a competition with Pusha and try to move back and push on some of the things that he said to try and discredit his character. There are so many different ways this competition can go, and it really is going to be like something we have never seen, just considering how different these MCs are as a whole. And now this, who do you think will win? And now, if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out, Aiton. And now if you want to see how, right before this, Drake just humiliated himself after having one of the worst clashes with Kendrick Lamar and the shows he just did, check out the suggested